Hello, everyone, and welcome to the final week of Introduction to Esports. Hopefully, you have spent these last almost couple months learning a lot of new things, and for those of you that knew a little bit about esports coming in, hopefully this is a nice refresher, get you ready, and maybe look at things a little bit differently in the industry, how it's like to be a professional, or even on the staff side, management. So, real quick, good job again making it this far. Everybody's been doing great. I loved all the midterms that we got. Awesome work. Absolutely a blast to review all that and kind of see some of the cool things that y'all were doing, and some of the hobbies and side comments about your passion for esports. So, but just to recap, on what we've talked about, we started with vocab in esports, touched on that history and theory in week two. Then we hit the midterms running, proposals, midterms. I mean, y'all came at it fast. Uh, Went over our tiers in esports, so remember the four tiers. Then we got to look at what it's like, in gaming and how uh, in Casey's lectures with No Girls Allowed, which I think is a very insightful lecture piece, and I recommend that everybody take a copy with you, and just kind of always have that. A lot of that translates to, other real world scenarios, not just esports. So definitely keep that on your mind. But then in week five, we return to a little bit more of the business side, like the tiers, and we got to see some of the conversations with Debbie Chun. Um, and so hopefully that gave everybody a good little insight from another perspective of what it's like to be a professional in the industry, not just as, you know, a player or a staff, but somebody who has been around the world, and has served, active military and other career uh, pathways as well. And then, of course, I think it was really cool, as we wrap things up, we got to see and talk a little bit about the cultures specific to esports, how they differ in esports, not you know as a generalization globally, but the esports cultures and the interview on controllers and like repairing your equipment, which is a big thing, especially in the FGC scene where you need all of that to work, and it's not as easy sometimes as swapping out a keyboard or a mouse. Um, and then here we are, everybody, at the end of the week. So make sure you look at your announcements. You've read over the discussion. So our final is this last discussion post. It's a little bit longer than normal because it's taking the place of a final, but I think it'll be a great way for everybody to kind of practice the information that you've absorbed, and everything you've been doing for the semester. So get out there and kind of show, um, Casey and myself, how you would approach a conversation on how to explain what esports is. I'm excited to see uh, the conversations that get started from this and how everybody might have a different, opinion or way to tackle that subject. So that's great. That's our recap. It's a lot of information that you all took in a very short amount of time. So super impressive. Definitely pat yourself on the back for that. But then now we're at this point of what now, right? So for those of you who are taking this class to kind of tie it in with the undergraduate certificate program, um, it'll be a little bit different for everybody. Obviously, some are kind of graduating real soon, and you have to find those classes, but there will be additional classes coming out for that certification program that will be your next step. So make sure you're talking to your advisors. But that's the academia side. Now, if we're talking about, work and how you want to pursue uh, a potential career in esports for those of you just starting out, social media, even if you don't have a Twitter or Instagram or something, make one. Get out there. Don't be afraid to post videos of your gameplay, to talk about the video game, or the scene, but always make sure you approach, if you're going to voice your opinion and thoughts on something, make sure you approach it from a neutral standpoint, um, try to never let your feelings kind of get in the way of it, because if you are trying to become a player or a staff member, one of the biggest things in esports is they'll look at your social media. Not typically, how many followers you have or anything, but what are you talking about? How are you talking about? How are you conducting yourself? So moving forward, if this class has kind of sparked you to really try and pursue those opportunities, just make sure that anything you do online, it can be found. Anything you do in game, it can be found. So always conduct yourself in a respectable and professional manner. Um, and then if you're looking for that staff side, and you don't know where to start, go online. I mean, literally a Google search of esport jobs, esport internships. It'll bring up a bunch of stuff. Like Rec Global is a good job site. But look for the smaller teams, the local teams, like in Overwatch, T3, T2 teams, Discord, Twitter, you'll find a lot of them. FGC, Halo. Look for opportunities that are probably 9 times out of 10 going to be unpaid work, but just to get your name out there, get comfortable with what you're doing, and expect that this will not be a process. If you choose to pursue a career in esports, that will happen immediately. You're looking, if I'm being honest with you, a minimum 6 months to maybe get lucky with an opportunity, unless you hit it off big, you're doing great, and that's possible. And I hope that's what happens for every single person that wants to pursue a career. I hope you go out there and you just blow up and everybody loves what you're doing as a player, content creator, staff manager, whatever. Uh, I wish that for all of you. So your next steps, again, if you're pursuing it, make sure you have social media. Absolutely make sure you have a Discord. Esports operates uh, very heavily through Discord. That's how most teams will do their online practices. Even if they're in person, they'll still get in there for voice, their communication, etc. And make sure that you have a professional looking profile. It's not a video game or anime character or movie character as your profile picture. For your social media like Twitter and Instagram, make sure it's you, like it shows who you are, um, and then start working on that resume. Find teams, find opportunities, find events that you can volunteer for. Hopefully it's paid. Hopefully you find stuff that does pay, and kind of rack that up. And the more you have, it's not like many situations in the traditional world where people go, "Oh, you've had a lot of jobs in like 5 years. That's kind of weird." In esports, the more the better. If you can rack up experience everywhere, go for it. That's what you need to do. So that's kind of the what now, what I recommend very heavily, that everybody does. If you have resumes, videos, anything like that you'd ever like me to take a look at, go over, review, please email me, reach out to me via Discord. Absolutely make sure you're utilizing myself or Professor Casey. We're more than happy to help everybody get to where they want to be, and not just in esports. In general sense of things. Uh, you know, my focus is English and history. So if for some reason you need a little help with that, I can always help out there. But that's the next steps. I'm very excited, to see all these final conversations and the discussion questions. Thank you again, everybody, for doing such a great job in the class. It has been a very, very quick 2-ish months, but congrats, you made it. First class ever at Rowan University for esports. So everybody celebrate, enjoy the rest of your semester, your holidays, and I hope you all take care. Thank you.